Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is September the 1st. It's the first of the month, 2020. Strong hand, buying over crying, personal responsibility is new counterculture. Buy and hold. This game is not rigged. One day closer to an all-time high, five-digit realm. I am offended by selling. Hello, my elite friends. Check out all the links below. Well, I haven't added all of them yet if you're watching this live, but disruptmeister.com, TechVault, you know to follow me on Twitter. If you have questions, I have answers. Type in BitcoinMeister or do a super chat. Okay, this story came out the other day about the Norwegian state-owned oil company that's going to be mining Bitcoin, okay? Publicly traded, and I think it's a big story. I haven't heard that many people mention it. And that's a rumor. Publicly traded petroleum multinational Equinor is moving to significantly reduce natural gas flaring by mining cryptocurrency, according to screenshots from Equinor's intranet received by Arcane Research on Friday. Okay, so I'm going to link to that CoinDesk article below. It's one of the few times CoinDesk has a good article. So this reminds me what Steve Barber is doing in Canada. I've talked about this before, using natural gas, extra natural gas to mine Bitcoin. It's great. And if this huge oil company, if they're the 11th largest oil and gas firm globally, and they're state owned. If such a big one is, the other big boys are going to do it too. So, hey, I've mentioned it before that oil companies will be mining Bitcoin with their gas access there. And now we're one step closer to a really big one doing it. But the other twist to this story, if this rumor is true, then a Norwegian state-owned company will be mining Bitcoin. That means Norway will be on the cutting edge of nation-state Bitcoin acquisition. Because if the country of Norway owns the company, then they get the proceeds of the company. And if they really do it on a large scale, and this all happens, I mean, there's a lot of ifs here. But yeah, this could be a way for Norway to put some Bitcoin into their treasury there. All right, well, we shall see. But I mean, it's a two-part story that Norway will be, if this happens, Norway, the country of Norway, will be mining Bitcoin. That's what it really is. And at the same time, the other oil companies of the world that aren't state-owned, and some are, they're going to have to look into this too. So, you know, right now we think about Bitcoin mining coming out of China. But it's going to look different in this golden age. We're going to have all sorts of companies that we can't even predict that are going to get into the Bitcoin mining business. Hey, I prefer just to buy it, dudes. But they're going to do what they're going to do. They got excess gas. Ooh, excess gas. Pound that like button. Now, hey, the 10,000, the five-digit round streak continues. Bitcoin has it hasn't been below 10K for quite some time. The record is like 60 some days. It's getting up there. We'll tell you when it gets to the record. Remember to watch the shows, the recent shows. There was a Beyond Bitcoin show that's at disruptmeister.com. I did, and a Gabriel Divine Beyond Bitcoin show, and Gabriel from Venezuela, and then we had Andy Edstrom and the BTC sessions, and Juan Galt were on This Week in Bitcoin. It is all linked below. You gotta check it out. You really do have to check it out, and you'll learn a lot from those dudes. Best guest in the freaking space, people. That's what I bring you here. John Stramos says, greeting from Malibu, Adam and friends. Well, how is lovely Malibu right now? I'm sure it's lovely. It's lovely out there on the West Coast. I'm here in the mountains of North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina. All right. Now, what do we have here? Oh, yeah. So Ethereum is pumping more than Bitcoin today. Oh, yeah. It's like I didn't even mention it. It's so normal to me. I get, Bitcoin it got back into the 12,000. So what? So what? Another day closer to an all-time high. Now, the monthly close for August 3rd, for August It was either the second or the third largest one. It's very close to second, but it was not the first. It was not the, it was that. So we're 1 month closer to the Bitcoin monthly closing price to be a monthly closing all-time high. And I believe that should happen like on December 31st. We'll see. We'll see. I think that's what the 210,000 block theory predicts. If you believe the 210,000 block theory predicts monthly close records, that hasn't really been proven yet. But it's a good blueprint to use. It's a good, if you need to predict things like that. If you must have a prediction, what month will Bitcoin break its all-time monthly closing all-time high? I believe, I believe it would be December 30th, December 31st. And at the same time, we're here on September 1st, and this is the equivalent of November 1st, basically, of 2016. And it was at this point I was in South Africa, and really Bitcoin never looked back. It didn't. I don't think it ever went back to the 600s again. It got into the 700s, and for the next few months, it climbed gloriously. So hey, maybe we're there right now. Wait, it was November. Yeah. Well, for the next 2 months, it climbed gloriously until it hit $1,000. So are we into a glory? And then after that, it was the wildness really started. So is September 1st the new November 1st? Pound that like button. Now, Ethereum is almost 4% of a Bitcoin. It's 4% of it. It's the yearly high for you fiat. Well, for you, if you value your Ethereum in Bitcoin or you value your Ethereum in dollars, it's a high for 2020 for Ethereum. People are piling into the DeFi stuff, and people are speculating on Ethereum that they'll be able to pull off a 2.0. We've talked about this before, and you don't have to be an Ethereum hater. I'm just putting it out there, people. It will. I've said this for quite some time now. Ethereum is the next Ethereum, and its price will go higher. It will continue. This run-up will continue. What's it matter to you if you're a Bitcoin holder? It shouldn't matter at all. You should be happy with Bitcoin. It's just like the income inequality people. They're jealous of Bill Gates. They're jealous of the 1%. They should just be happy they're doing well on their own. Now, of course, Ethereum is not better than Bitcoin, but I'm saying you should be happy that your coin, that your wealth is increasing. Don't worry about what the other ones are doing. Don't worry what the other ones are doing. You should be confident in that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. So why worry about Ethereum? But wanted to put it out there just so you, it's in the news, and don't get tempted into getting into DeFi arguments, okay? Now, and Ethereum arguments. It's a waste of your time. It's drama. It's crypto noise. Now, you should. The great Alistair Milne says, to the few Ethereum and DeFi followers I have, you should spend a moment thinking about what fees will be like when an inevitable crash and cascade happens. It will make today's fees look like a bargain. Now, this is a very interesting point here. Are you prepared? Do you know how you will cash out? So I believe a lot of this DeFi stuff is just a bunch of musical chairs. It's ridiculous. Who's going to get stuck with the YAM? And if there is a wind down of DeFi, a sudden, and I don't expect it to happen until 2021, but you should have a plan, because if everyone starts to try to sell their DeFi stuff that's on Ethereum all at once to get out, the fees on Ethereum are going to rocket to the moon, man. So you should be prepared to. I mean, it might be unimaginably high fees where you should have an exit strategy, you gamblers. Does a gambler ever have an exit strategy? Does a gambler ever have an exit strategy? No, they don't. So, but that is an interesting scenario there. If there is a sudden unwinding of DeFi, that we could see some tremendous Ethereum fees. And that could scare people like, oh, well, I don't want to pay that fee, so I'm going to be a bag holder, and I think it's going to go up. Ooh, you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. You DeFi freaks out there, and I don't encourage anyone to be a gambler or a DeFi freak. Of course not. This is the One Bitcoin Show, and I'm the BitcoinMeister, for God's sakes. And Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Now, How many Bitcoin each central bank needs to own the same percent mined supply share at its current. Okay, here. This is the basic thing here. The great BitcoinMeister has a chart out there, and it shows if every country claims it owns a certain amount of gold, okay? And the United States basically owns 5% of all the gold that's out there. And if they owned 5% of all the Bitcoin that's out there, they would have to have 967,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so it's the equivalent of countries. If countries owned the same percent of the world supply of gold that they in Bitcoin, how many Bitcoin they would have to own. And this chart has now been updated. I tweeted this, or I talked about this a long time ago. But 967,000 is what the United States would have to hold to be the equivalent of what they are in the gold world. And it's kind of funny because 967,000 Bitcoin, that's basically what Coinbase owns. So Coinbase is the United States of Bitcoin. In terms of if you want to look at it that way, and the Winklevi are the Swiss of Bitcoin. They own the same percent of Bitcoin that the Swiss government owns of gold. So it's an interesting little chart. Now, we've got a super chat over there. Remember, people retweet this. Johnny NY sent $2, and it's great to see you here, Johnny NY. It's great to see this dude here. He 2021 December, I'm going to cash out some Bitcoin. Well, that's not good to hear. But hey, you have a plan. You do what you do. And if the 210,000 block theory is true, the Bitcoin price in October of 2021 will be over $19,600. So in December of 2021, one would assume it would in December of 2021, one would assume it would be worth more than it was worth in February of 2018, which was okay. So, but hey, dude, I'm glad you're here, man. It's a pleasure to see you. And I'm just seeing if there's. Oh, Taval said 20,000 Bitcoin doesn't even seem like a lot now. Don't think the normies do you mean $20,000 Bitcoin? Don't think the normies will be paying attention until you meant 20,000. Okay, $20,000 Bitcoin doesn't even seem like a lot now. Don't think the normies will be paying attention until like 50 or 70,000. Yeah, I mean that's the way they are. They get in with the FOMO. Okay, they get in when the whole world starts talking about it. Yeah, to me, $20,000. No. My brain, I already saw 19,600. So that's not a lot to me. I mean, we're one day closer to returning to that because Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high. So I mean, I have that mindset also. Yes, and I do. So STG447. Remember when Ethereum was bragging about low fees compared to Bitcoin? Yes, I do. I do remember that. But and I pointed this out before, Ethereum now sees that, hey, a lot of people are using it. So they've encountered a scaling issue, and they've encountered a fee issue, and that's good for them. The other coins, they don't have these fee issues because no one uses the other ones. People are using Ethereum. All right. Now, okay, someone said Ethereum Classic. Yeah, Ethereum Classic has had many issues lately. That's true, but it's an altcoin. You value your wealth in Bitcoin. That it's almost like a top tier altcoin, and it has major issues. Okay, so let's go to Andreas calling out the IRS. I noticed this the other day that the IRS issued a statement about microtransactions. Crypto microtransactions worth less than $1 are taxable events, according to a recent IRS memo, because crypto acts as a substitute for real currency. We got to speak up about this. People should speak up about this, okay? And Andreas is. He says, it is time to openly discuss the fact that the IRS is purposely and actively undermining the use of cryptocurrency with this policy. U.S. persons and entities cannot participate in a microtransaction economy at all. Microtransactions can't work with mega accounting requirements. I agree. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or they're just so clueless, but no, if the IRS expects you to report every single little microtransaction, that's a mega accounting requirement. Okay, we're in a different world. Maybe Congressman Emmer can work on this. I'm glad Andreas is calling the IRS out, though. They should be called out. Now, there's an article in the Decrypt that talks about another Bitcoin claims he lost, what is this, $430,000 on the Electrum wallet scam. Dudes, be careful with that darn Electrum wallet. Okay? That's a second case of someone. Be careful what you download, dudes. And that story is going to be linked to below if it's not already linked to below. I had some issues. And here, Tezos agrees to pay $25 million in damages to investors. That doesn't happen in Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin doesn't have to deal with people. Bitcoin is lawsuit proof. Okay. There's no entity that controls Bitcoin that can be sued. Like, oh, I lost Bitcoin, I'm going to sue the Bitcoin office. No. But Tezos, Centralized, they had an ICO or whatever they had, and people were angry at them. And now I guess there was a lawsuit or whatever. They agreed to pay the people $25 million. There are no refunds of any sorts in Bitcoin. Okay. You can't sue Bitcoin. There's no entity behind Bitcoin. There's no refund. But in Tezos, hey man, you can play. In Centralized, there's your difference, people. If you don't understand what centralization is. And okay, so let me talk about two dudes. Well, first of all, let me just talk about Thursday real quick. Thursday is going to be Ask Me Anything Day again with a guest on, like we had this Thursday with Gabriel. And it's a very special, controversial guest. It's going to be in the morning. It's going to be at 9:15 in the morning on Thursday. And so you'll get to ask him questions. You'll get to ask me questions. I'll ask him questions. So that's what I think. Maybe that's what Thursdays will be. Just guests ask me anythings, not just Adam ask me anything. You can, and please, if people start asking a lot of questions as the show went on, but prepare. I'll say on Wednesday, tomorrow, who the guest is going to be on Thursday. I want to leave it as a surprise right now. So two guys that are in motion, Hodl Smith. What is it? Hodl Smith 21 watch collection. So this dude, I met his buddy in Las Vegas at Tone's event, and he told me about the dude with the watch, that there's going to be a guy making a Bitcoin watch. And it's not just a watch. It's a coin. The Canisius coin, or whatever, I can't pronounce that. Back in the day, you had those physical Bitcoins where you could store your Bitcoin. Well, that's what the watch is. You're going to be able to store. Apparently, somebody stored 10 Bitcoin on one of these watches. That's a pricey watch, isn't it? But it's linked to below. It's called hodlesmith.com. Hodlesmith 21 watch collection. The Hodlesmith 21 watch is a Swiss engineered timepiece built to capture both time and money on the hands of those strong enough to hodl it. The watch, and I like hold, but whatever, I said it. The watch was crafted to specifically encase physically issued and minted Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. The entire watch movement sits on top of the case, protecting the physical coin, encapsulating the ultimate metaphor of time value of money. Pound that like button. Very much so. Time value of money with your Bitcoin freaking watch. All right. One other dude out there that's in motion. BTC Chris has an article about that, about why Bitcoin, why now? Now, I was going to quote, he talked about how gold is old in it, and I really like that, and I by accidentally erased the quote, so I cannot quote from it, okay? But it was a great quote about gold, and that in this modern day, you need Bitcoin, and he talks about some of the events that are going on right now that really should convince people to get into Bitcoin now, that you need the printer is going burr, and that the old timers are saying get into gold, but this is much better than gold. And BTC Chris, KRIS, it's linked to below his article. So these guys contact me. They're in motion. I love to talk about guys that are in motion doing different stuff in this space, whether it be a writer there or whether it be a dude making Bitcoin freaking watches. All right, it's getting dark. We're getting closer to the fall. We're getting closer to to me returning for the high holidays to Baltimore on September 15th. So I'm Adam Meister. It gets darker earlier. I already did my running today. I had to, well, anyway, I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, Disrupt Meister. Pound that like button and subscribe to the channel, dudes. Seriously, retweet the stuff. And thanks a lot for everybody that watched it live today. I'm going to go eat today, right now. It's time to eat. See ya. Weird time for the show today, I know. Bye-bye.